call the work session meeting to order. Good morning, everyone. Open forums first, no letters, emails, nobody said no cheap seats. So on to the assessment election recap, result recap.
You want me to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, so first of all this information is available on the POA's website, including the official election certification that is available. The long and short of it is we missed quorum. Quorum requirement is 50%, and we got 41.51%. So we were well short of reaching quorum. So regardless of whether the yes vote went, we did not reach quorum. With regards to the yes, no, 45.92 voted yes, with the remainder either a no or an abstention. And the requirement is 51%. So we missed on both accords. So all that information is available on the website, including the certification, the presentation, and we should have the election committee minutes available. We're just waiting for a few more yes votes from the committee that they are accurate. So we'll have all that information hopefully by the end of the day on our website.
Thank you. Thank you. Any comments on that from the board? No. Next up is recreational amenities fee.
Okay, so Doug and I have been working on a new concept, which we are calling the recreational amenities fee. And so let's back up. Right now, we have had in place for at least a decade, if not longer. The water department has had the water capital buy-in fee. So every time you have a meter installed, $2,500 goes to water capital buy-in fee, and that money is used for capital projects for the water department, or it can be placed towards reserves for future capital projects, but it's still capital projects. And that money is actually earmarked. Now, in most years, we're actually spending, the water department is actually spending more than what is collected through the water capital buy-in fee. So it's really, we track it internally, but we don't have to, it's not a concern. But if we ever started slowing down on our capital spending for the water department, we might have to then start putting this towards reserves. But that's not the case, especially with the water tower going in on the west side. This will not be an issue for a while. So along those same lines, you have some communities, planned communities, that have a similar fee for amenity usage. With the growth that we're experiencing in our community, every new home puts an added pressure on our amenities. You can see that in our fitness facilities, our pools, the beach, everything is because of the increase in utilization due to the additional members, additional homeowners. Clarify that. Also, and this is part of it, an existing property owner has been contributing assessments and amenity usage fees for years, where a brand new home may not have contributed any of that for, so we're just trying to figure out a way where the impact of the new resident can be turned into a positive and help us going down the road. So what we did was we contacted our outside counsel, Kutak Rock, which we've been using for years, and we are proposing a recreational amenities fee, which would be $1,500, and would be charged at the time that the water meter is installed. And those funds, consistent with how we do with the water capital buy-in fee, those funds would be set aside, earmarked for amenities, capital projects, or reserves for future amenities capital projects. And the intent of these funds is so, for example, if we look at the Metfield Fitness Center, which is not currently meeting the needs of our membership. If we were to, and as we continue to grow, the situation is going to get worse. If we took this $1,500 from however many new homes, we could then expand that facility, change it in some way so it then meets the needs of our membership. Based upon the number of homes, new homes that are being built in our community, we estimate this would be about $1 million at this time. Now keep in mind that that amount of money is going to fluctuate, with outside influences, the economy and so forth. So it can go up, it can go down, but our initial guess is that it's going to be $1 million, which is quite a bit more. Our last year's capital budget was about $500,000. So this would add quite a bit more and would allow the board to be able to do more capital projects to meet the needs, the growing needs of our membership. Once again, outside counsel has reviewed this, and they feel that within our governing documents, it is a reasonable fee. And that's a key word, is reasonable. We always want to make sure that we don't go overboard. And they did recommend a 90-day notice to the community. So if the board were to approve this at next week's regular session, 90 days would be approximately December 1st of this year. Any questions?
Just to clarity, this is really an impact fee. Both of those are a type of an impact fee, correct? That's what they are.
There's a lot of different terms you can use for it.
But that's what it is.
Every new property owner is having an impact on our amenities. We're seeing that, like I said before.
Well, and several people have mentioned to me, like, that since that didn't pass, have you ever thought about an impact fee? And I'm like, yeah, but I can't talk about it yet because we haven't discussed it. But a lot of people, the ones that I've talked to that have approached me say that's a good way to go.
Kind of in that same realm, we get a lot of feedback on the assessment vote. Why aren't the people that are moving in here paying? Well, I think this is an opportunity to collect and reward some of the longtime members that have been paying in continuously and contributing to facilities. Now this lets the people that are going to jump in for where we're at right now and at least contribute back a little bit and help us continue to grow.
I just want to clarify that we're careful with our language, because when we say new people moving in, this is new builds, goes with the water meter, not new residents moving in.
Yes, it's attached to the water meter, because you got to assume that if someone buys a home, you're by and large replacing one user from another user. And it may be up or down. I mean, it might be an elderly couple replaced by a younger couple, or it could be the reverse. So you never know.
The only thing I'd like to say on this is to the membership to understand this has been in the works for a while. This was not impacted positively or negatively by the assessment increase vote. So there's been a lot of back work on this. So it wasn't just brought up this week.
Oh, no. Actually, I'm looking at Doug. We first came up with the idea 4 months ago.
Yeah, April or May. Here's when I went to the law firm for the opinion.
Yeah, it took us a while to really work out how to do it, work with the attorneys. So yes, to your point is this isn't a spur of the moment, shoot from the hip. We've been working on this for a while. We just wanted to make sure that we did all the prudent work in advance so that we can, address questions and so forth.
Happenstance, it just happened around the same time the assessment vote was finalized. So just wanted to make that clear because we know what could happen. Anything else on this? Yeah, Deb, go ahead.
I'd like to, comment about what Jeff said. I think he said it very well. The people who've been here for years have been contributing through their assessments to the amenities. And new houses going in definitely affect how many people can be in the village expecting to use those amenities. Therefore, you put the fee on the new houses, and it just, you know, it just makes sense. It's something that's been used in a lot of locations. It's something that we can do and do effectively. I think it's just a no-brainer to go forward with it, because people are coming here for the amenities. We have to protect them.
Thank you, David. Just for clarification, Tom and I were whispering over here, this is above and beyond, or separate from the amenity usage fees potentially going up to, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, the amenity usage fees, and you had a statement that you made after the meeting on Tuesday. You know, the board is still working on the amenity usage fees. We're still at the very beginning of writing the budget for 2026, but as you indicated, there's every indication that the amenity usage fees would go up. And we already shared all that information with the brochures and everything. So this would not replace what this fee that we're proposing would not replace. It would be in addition to.
Again, going back to, you still pay your water bill after you get your tap installed, so it's the same type of thing. You still pay for your assessment and everything else.
And yeah, so.
Just a further point of clarification. Amenity fees increases are not limited to just that calendar year. In other words, we have if the assessment doesn't pass, it's a 3-year assessment, but that doesn't mean that amenity fees aren't going to be increased every year or adjusted up or down every year. We have the power to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, we've already been very open and transparent with the community about what we're thinking of for 26. We haven't said anything about 27. That's a long way away, and we don't know what's going to happen. So that, you know, different situation. But by and large, the 2020 plan, once we hit March 1st, is a thing of the past. Now, there's certain guidelines that we created back in 2020. For example, the amount of money that we want to put aside for reserves. Those guidelines still make sense. And so I think that we would potentially continue to go down those same guidelines, but the obligation is no longer there.
Jamie, go ahead.
I noticed that and I know why, the brochure and all of that was actually taken down from the website because it's over. The election is over. But I would really like to see us put up the amenities fees portion of that again. I was looking for it last night to talk to somebody about, you know, what the proposed amount was, and I couldn't find it anymore.
We can, yeah, that's a really good point. We can add it back.
Just that part, you know, not the election part, but, you know.
Yeah, I've had some people that didn't really pay a lot of attention
That makes sense.
prior to going into the election, and then now they're like, oh no, does this really mean our fees are gonna go up? Yeah. Well, how much exactly? And unfortunately, I wish they had paid attention to that information prior to. They might have made a little conscious effort to be involved.
Exactly. When we post that, just recommendation is bold, and as bold as flashing we can have it is proposed. It's not finalized because we have not voted on it. So, because it still could fluctuate a little bit.
There's many months left in writing the budget, and I want to remind the community that the community budget presentation is the second Thursday of November. I don't know the date off the top of my head.
13th, I think.
At 6 p.m. in this boardroom. So come out, learn about the budget, comment. At the same time that we're approving the budget or presenting the budget is the same time that we will be presenting the fees for 2026. But keep in mind that the amenity usage fees cannot increase until March 1st. That was a commitment that the board made back in 2020. And then reaffirmed in 23, so.
Anything else on this one? Nope. All right.
Next item, each year the Charitable Giving Committee gets together, and once again, they did an outstanding job. And we ask them, the POA allocates $25,000 per year for Bella Vista specific charities. If you recall, the Rules and Regulations Committee went through and modified policy 1.03.4 about 8, 9, 10 months ago. The board approved those changes, and those changes did have an impact upon the charities, the organizations that were selected or recommended by the Charitable Giving Committee to receive funds this year. We had about 15 applicants, and approximately half of those did not meet the revised standards that were updated in policy 1.03.4. So here is the recommendations that the committee put forth. Questions?
Nope.
Once again, the committee did a great job. Thank you very much for your efforts. And the last item is the second reading for policy 5.03. If this is the first time you've ever watched this meeting, this is the second reading. This is actually the fifth meeting that the board has, or the Rules and Regulations Committee has discussed this. So if the board does not put a lot of effort into talking about it today, it's because it's the fifth time they've looked at it. Please view previous meetings to see their comments.
Are there any comments on that? 5.03. This point? Nope. Okay. That brings us to the end of the agenda. I do have a write-in, and this was a great suggestion from Director Brooks. Recently, there's been some concern and some comments about safety on the lakes. I just want to make sure that everybody knows the Board of Directors is working hand in hand with the Lakes Committee and our management team to make further improvements to lake safety and address some of the concerns that were recently brought to our attention. Our plan is to work on these improvements in the coming months and implement them for the coming year. So I know was the last Lakes Committee that was brought up. So we are working on it. Hopefully we'll have some more information possibly next week. I know you're doing some things.
Yes.
And then Matt from the Lakes Committee we're getting him up to speed and let him kind of help out too. So just let everybody know that we're working on some safety issues on the lakes. Any comments on that or questions? Again, thanks Bob that was a good idea to bring that up. All right, on to announcements. If there's not anything, yes sir, sorry.
I do have one announcement I'd like the board to know. Our youngest daughter her birthday is today, and we have a granddaughter whose birthday is today. We got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning. The youngest daughter whose birthday is today is giving twins today.
Oh, congratulations.
So we're pretty excited at our house. And
then why are you
my
here?
wife's all the way, because my wife's on her way to Colorado, and that's a good place for her to be during this time.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
Wow.
Big day for the Brooks family. Anything else? Any other exciting news, Bob? You good? Anybody else? All right, on to the
who won the
oh well, yeah,
club
that's a given.
championship?
That's a given. Just let go on, he says. All right, announcements. The next Board of Directors regular session is next Thursday, August 28th at 6 here in the boardroom and live stream. The next Rec JAC meeting is September 8th, which is Monday, the 4 p.m. here in the boardroom live stream. Lakes Committee meeting is September 10th at 2. Golf follows Lakes September 10th at 4. Our next GM meeting is September 11th, and that is a closed meeting at 2:30. And our next work session is September 18th at 9 here in the boardroom and live stream. And then September's regular session is September 25th at 6 PM. If there's not anything else, we're adjourned.